On September 5th, Trump fired off a message on Truth Social. Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together. For Trump, it was just another post, but behind it lies a massive shift. India, once seen as America's key counterweight to China, is now drifting into Beijing's orbit, a nightmare scenario for Washington. So how did it come to this? How did US policy meant to contain China end up fueling its rise instead? This is what we will discuss together in today's episode. I am your host and this is the Interrunner Plus. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. For the last 25 years, India was a pivotal part of the US strategy designed to contain and encircle neighboring China. Yet today, this entire strategy is being threatened and abandoned, all because of a personal feud between President Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In 2019 and 2020, Trump and Modi staged massive rallies, Howdy Modi in Houston and Namaste Trump in Ahmedabad, praising each other as true friends and exceptional leaders. But that bond collapsed during Trump's second term. In fact, his tone toward India grew harsher than toward China, America's main rival. What caused this dramatic turn? The first cracks showed during Modi's White House visit on February 13, 2025. Publicly, the leaders announced major deals, including Mission 500, a plan to raise bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2025. The atmosphere behind closed doors was tense. A journalist privy to the details of the visit told The Economist that Indian diplomats were stunned by the profound lack of respect shown by President Trump toward Modi. The underlying tension was rooted in trade. The US is India's largest export market. In 2024 alone, India shipped nearly $80 billion worth of goods to America, leaving a surplus of over $40 billion. This imbalance infuriated Trump. On the campaign trail that year, he had branded India as a very big abuser for its tariffs, calling them almost the highest in the world. During Modi's February 2025 visit, Trump repeated the charge, while both sides agreed to begin talks on a limited trade deal by fall 2025. But the tipping point wasn't tariffs, it was war. On April 22nd, Kashmir experienced an attack that killed 25 Indian tourists. India accused Pakistan, and on May 7, the Indian army launched an attack. This triggered an armed conflict between the two nuclear powers. 4 days later, on May 10th, Trump posted on his Truth Social, boasting that after a long night of talks led by Washington, both sides had agreed to an immediate and complete ceasefire. This declaration is the actual source of the rift that destroyed the personal relationship and brought India under direct US fire. India flatly denied any US mediation, insisting the ceasefire was achieved directly between the Indian and Pakistani armies. Yet, Trump doubled down, repeatedly claiming credit, even saying he threatened India with new tariffs to force compliance. So why didn't Modi just humor him? Like Trump, Modi is a populist leader. His political career is founded on the principle of India's absolute independence and refusal to bow to external pressure, even from the US. For Modi, securing the satisfaction of the Indian public was politically paramount over appeasing Trump. Pakistan, however, saw an opportunity. Playing to Trump's ego, they even nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize, while moving quickly to exploit his anger at Modi to draw closer to Washington, a shift that could reshape power dynamic across the Indian and Pacific Ocean. Another reminder before we move on, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the Interrunner Plus. It helps us a lot. The situation escalated dramatically in late July 2025. Pressed by opposition lawmakers, Modi stated under oath that no country in the world stopped the fighting between India and Pakistan. Trump fired back within hours. On August 1, 2025, he announced 25% tariffs on India, citing both India's high tariffs and its purchases of Russian arms and energy. He argued this undermined global efforts to stop Russian aggression in Ukraine. The decision was shocking, and the logic baffled India. Between January 2023 and July 2025, it bought $119.3 billion of Russian oil, but China bought even more, $158.7 billion. Meanwhile, Europe still relies on Russian gas to this day, and the US itself continues to buy uranium and fertilizers from Moscow. You think this is an exaggeration? Putin himself stated that trade between the US and Russia had increased by 20% since Trump returned to office. He made that remark during his summit in Alaska with Trump, a meeting where, as I've argued before, Putin played Trump like a violin and walked away with everything. You can check our full breakdown of that summit in the episode linked in the corner and the description. Moving on, India wondered why punish India while sparing others. Hoping to patch things up, Trump's senior advisor for Indian affairs, Ricky Gill, traveled to New Delhi in August. His advice to Indian diplomats was simple: just humor Trump. But for Modi, backing down now would mean political suicide. Instead, he leaned into defiance. India kept buying Russian oil and opened the door to Beijing. Trump's response? On August 6th, Trump announced another additional tariff of 25%, bringing the total to 50%. Did Modi back down? You tell me. On August 19th, Modi welcomed Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to New Delhi. Shortly after, on August 31st, Modi attended the Shanghai summit alongside Putin and Xi Jinping. Trump's response was blunt. Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. The quote we started the episode with. This chain of events, driven by personal feud, has produced the worst possible outcome for US foreign policy. India edging toward China and Russia. A Chinese win and an American loss. The question remains, is a powerful Sino-Russian-Indian alignment now in the best interest of New Delhi, purely as a countermeasure against the unpredictability of the United States? Let me know in the comments. Finally, if you liked this episode and want to see us again, subscribe to the Intel Runner Plus and see you in the next episode.